All right, and we're finally getting into the fun stuff, the actual workout itself. Sticky stuff on the table. First thing I'd like to address is a warm up. This is actually every one of these days is thought without a warm up in mind, to be honest with you. Usually the first exercise is going to warm you up pretty well, especially since all of these are pretty low intensity. But I am always going to recommend that you warm up a little bit. About 5 minutes, that's all you really need. I know you have an elliptical at home. That would be perfect. Go 2.5 minutes rolling forward at a very easy pace, just to get your heart rate just a little bit higher. 2.5 minutes 2.5 minutes forward, and then 2.5 minutes pedaling backwards. The reason that we pedal backwards as much as possible is to keep from overloading one direction, basically. Doing things one way and then the other, that's why we push and pull the same amount. It helps with like joint integrity and stuff. Anything really can work. Oh, I'm gonna do what I told you to do and take my shoes off. It's a good example. Feet are flat on the ground and I'm way more safe and engaged. Anyways, but yeah, an actual warm up. So it can be as simple as like stepping forward, stretching out those calves, stuff like that. Don't hold those stretches for like 30 seconds, hold them for like 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The other side. Really want you to stretch out your lats that get tight through the day. And either do your elliptical, you can even march in place, you can do just body weight squats, anything. You can do jumping jacks if you really want to. But about 5 minutes, raise your heart rate and get loosened up. Okay, now we're actually getting into the fun stuff. Your first day of training. Chair squats, dumbbell rows, single arm, and then wall push-ups. Chair squats, first one. It's going to be the most functional that you will do in this entire program, probably. It's just sitting down, standing up. So that's from like this angle. It's probably hard to see. But what I'm doing is I have the chair to just the right height to where I'm comfortable at. Reaching down with my butt, touching, not resting, and then coming back up. So you're not like taking a load off, literally, like taking the load off of like your legs. You're keeping stable and active and pushing back up. You're gonna do this 4 sets for 5 to 7 reps. As soon as it starts to burn, go ahead and stop it there. So if like on 5, it's starting to burn, stop. And then you're gonna be doing that for like 4 times. The way that you would make this easier to harder. Okay, so easier would be either getting a higher chair or putting pillows up where you're just touch, and then you say, okay, I can do that pretty easy. Take away 1. Make sure when you're going down, you're pressing your legs out so that you really feel all through here. And then you're pressing up with like your hips and like butt. And then you'll eventually get down to like here. And then you'll eventually not need it. Another short-term way to make that a little bit harder is by grabbing dumbbells. And there's a few ways you can do it from here. You can do it out to the side with them just like draped over. Inhale on the way down. Exhale on the way up. Or you can have them forward You can hold one in the goblet squat position where you're like this. On to the next thing, dumbbell rows. So again, few ways that you can do it. Since I do want you doing single arm specifically, one of the easier ways, other than just grabbing lighter and lighter weight, make sure you don't do this on a rolly chair like this or a spinning one, but on some sort of fixed surface. You lean out like this and just row straight back. Imagine you're pulling with your elbow, like if there was like a weight like right here and you want to elbow it back, or like if there was someone behind you and you want to. That's the first way to make it. That's the first way to do it, and that's kind of the way I recommend. LK's going crazy. The second way is to get on the lower surface. So somewhere that you, like if you had like a bench, this would be like perfect. I keep forgetting that you have a whole weight room. Anyways, in your apartment complex, and a really nice one. So yeah, you would get on like a bench and put your hand like here and just same motion. Elbow in close to you. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale and squeeze at the top. So you'll do this for 5 to 7 and then immediately switch over to the other hand. Other leg forward. The hand, like now that's not pulling. So right now my right leg is forward and my left hand is pulling. Yeah. Right into it. 2, 3, 7. And then you rest until you feel your breathing normalized. Like I said, the main way to make this harder is by making yourself more horizontal and then adding more weight. And you can honestly, once you get comfortable with this, add weight pretty quickly. Like me, for instance, I mean, I can use like the hundreds when I do this, and I'm not even like particularly like all that strong, but it's just because it's a lift that you can do this with once you get like pretty good at it. I'd recommend using like the 5s, maybe 10s if you're feeling like especially strong. Gosh, it feels cool. You'll feel like a pump like in like your mid and then upper back. And the last one of the day, wall push-ups. Pretty straightforward. If you have a bench like to like lay down on, like imagine I'm laying on on like a weight bench. Grab a couple of dumbbells and press up like that. But if you're just like in your home and don't really feel like going down to the weight room, what you can do is find a wall. This is gonna be hard because of my angles. Okay, find like a wall. And the further you are away from it, look like a mime, the harder it's gonna be to push. Until you're like here, then we'll start working on doing like push-ups on your knees on the ground and stuff like that. But like imagine you're doing a push-up, but it's just against the wall. And really, like when you come back up, push like you're flexing your tricep right here and just extending really hard, and flex like your chest, like you're really trying to push yourself away far, like you're pushing something like really hard like a car. All of those, so chair squats, dumbbell rows, and then wall push-ups. All of them will be 4 sets of 5 to 7 reps. As soon as your breathing's back to normal, you're right back into the next thing. Okay, so that's day 1. Pretty easy, maybe, pretty straightforward. I showed you all the different varying ways to do each one of these to make them harder or easier. Really just like monitor yourself, don't push yourself so hard that you hurt yourself, but feel free to explore, for sure. Hope that helps. Okay, on to day 2.